Recording in progress.
Welcome. I'm very excited for today's practice. This is on wind element or balancing our Vata energy. And we have wind chimes today that some of my dear friends gave me. And these will guide us through some of the sound in our practice today. So for our practice, as always, I will remind you to honor your body as it is in this moment. It is perfect. There's nothing broken. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. But hopefully, through our practice of pranayama, breath work, mudra, and gentle asana, we'll each feel more at home in our bodies and will feel slightly restored by the end of this practice. But if any time you feel pain or discomfort, then simply soften or cease to do whatever movement we are guiding through. Vata energy is the energy of air. This comes from Ayurvedic studies of the dosha, the science from India that was started thousands of years ago. And sometimes our energies come out of balance. So we will work to rebalance using some mini stretches of our back. So little mini back bends, nothing like big, no big back bends. And also lateral stretches, so stretching our side bodies. Wherever you are, find a comfortable spot to sit. And bring your shoulders back and down away from your body, away from your ears. And feel yourself settle in. And just notice your own breath rhythm. Today we will practice calm, slow, mindful movement. And if you wish, you can bring your hands to your lower back. I'll stand up so you can see. But you can stay seated and just bring your hands to your lower back, and maybe you tilt your chin slightly upwards, creating just a very slight opening in the chest and the heart center. Relaxing your shoulders. If this feels too intense for you, you can absolutely release your hands. And our chin is not way up in the sky like this. Our chin is just maybe level with the ground. I'll invite the chimes. These were given to me as a special gift when I transitioned from a 25-and-a-half-year career by some dear friends. And they're magical. Feel the sound. And I'll read you a short gatha by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's like a poem. The mind can go in 1,000 directions, but on this beautiful path I walk in peace. With each step, a gentle wind blows. With each step, a flower blooms. Notice your breath. And now release your hands from your lower backs and from a seated position, bring your feet to the ground in front of you. We're going to start to walk in place. So if you had socks on to keep your feet warm, you can leave them on or take them off at this moment. And we're going to start to imagine that poem, and with each step, a gentle wind blows. So raise your knee and feel your foot as it meets the earth. Feel the grounding and the connection to the earth. And when you raise your knee, bring your awareness to your lower belly. As if we're walking on the earth, but you're actually also engaging the muscles in your belly right now, strengthening, and you're stretching your hip flexors. And now bring your feet to the ground. See if you can bring your heels up and down. So this is like a tapping motion that you see a lot in Qigong from a standing posture. And now raise your toes. That will feel good after the heel tapping. And you can bring your feet flat and just let your feet really ground on the earth and feel that connection. We'll stretch our legs forward. You might wish to have something under your hips, and pull your feet, your toes towards your nose. This is Dandasana, or staff pose. Sometimes if you have something beneath your hips, like a little blanket, it will help raise you up slightly, or you can do this without and feel that full body connection to the earth. Raise your arms up to the sky. Deep inhale and fold forward. Let your hands find the front of your shins, wherever your hands land. Maybe you can touch your toes, but don't worry whether you can or you can't. Let your body be exactly as it is. And hinge forward with your chin, pulling your big toes towards your nose. Less of a rounding, so more of a lengthening. And maybe as you lengthen, you notice that your fingertips go a little further along the fronts of your legs or towards your toes. Paschimottanasana. This is a forward fold with our legs out long and strong in front of us. And then let your hands traverse the fronts of your legs until you gently come back up to seated. And bring your right foot to the ground so that your right knee is bent. And flex your left foot, rise up through the crown of your head, and bring your right foot, if possible, bring it over your left quadricep muscle, your left thigh muscle, into figure 4. Right away, you're going to start to notice some stretching sensation in the right outer hip, the muscles that surround the right outer hip. So if this is too severe for your body, then you don't need to do this. You could have your foot on the ground inside your leg. But if you wish for a little more, you can bring your foot onto your thigh And if you're not feeling much of a stretch here, you can also bring the right foot into the crook of the elbow, but supporting your right knee, lifting up through the spine. This is like a hip baby. If our hips are available for this type of a posture, you can roll around. Maybe pausing in the yummy places. Or you might have your foot down on your leg and you can be stretching forward in that case. Again, lengthening chin and nose or pointing at big toe on the left outstretched leg. So again, not a rounding, not a collapsing of the spine, but a lifting. Whatever we're doing, we're always going to practice having our heart center, our chest muscles open, our shoulders back. A lengthening and a lifting through the crown. And then coming back up to seated and gently, wherever that foot was, bring the right foot back to the ground. Let it come next to the left and let your hips go back and forth. Wiggle your hips a little bit. Point and flex your toes. Whatever you need to do, roll your ankles, anything to release that stretch. And we'll do the other side, bringing the left foot to the ground, raising up through the top of our spine, top of the crown of the head, and then bringing the left foot across the right quadricep muscle, the right thigh. Each side of your body will be different. So maybe on this side, your foot is on the ground in the center. Maybe it is up in figure 4. Maybe it is in the crook of your right arm. And wherever you choose to place your foot, see if you can bring a little calm and gentle movement to your body, cradling your form, pulling up through the right toes. Every once in a while, we'll lose attention to our right foot, and you'll notice that you have a floppy foot. So pull the toes back again. Maybe it feels good to pause in one place or to come to stillness. Ask your body, what do you need? Maybe you need a little foot massage and you take your thumb to the inner sole of your left foot. Let's see if you can bring some body attunement to your practice. And not going on a script, but more thinking about the curiosity of what does my body need? And wherever you are, gently release your left foot. And it's good to tap and jiggle your legs, again, awakening the lymphatic system. And now if you have a strap nearby, it's not needed, but if you have it and you wish to use it, we're going to do some stretches for our hamstring muscles. So we'll bring the strap around the inner sole of the foot. And we can raise our right foot up. You don't need to have the knee locked. If you don't have a strap and you're very flexible, you can probably do this just by holding on to your toes. I am not very flexible, so it feels better for me to be using this strap, although this brings a really nice element of stretch into my upper right shoulder muscles. You can bend and straighten your leg, rock forward slightly on your pelvis so that you're not leaning back to try to raise the foot higher. Calm, slow, mindful movement. Notice where you feel sensation and breathe into those yummy, juicy places. And then open your leg, if you can, over to the right. You can also do this from a lying down position, but I'll give alternates in different classes just so you can see what feels best. And over time, if you do this daily, you will have more mobility in your hamstrings. Coming back to the center, removing the strap, and now if you were using a strap, maybe you wish to try the other leg. You can try it just with your fingers to your toes. Bringing in again, movement, balancing movement with stillness. Deep inhale. You can have a necktie or a towel or a strap, anything to help your body. And remember again, even I'm leaning back. So I want to tilt forward and extend versus leaning. Opening out to the other side. Flexing through the opposite foot. Breathing into the sensation. And then releasing the left side. And we'll do a tiny bit of toga, which is opening and closing the toes. So you can also do this with your hands if you wish at the same time, but you can pull your toes in and make fists with your hands and then open. Inhaling as we open, exhaling as we constrict. And then shaking that all out. Let's bring our feet together in cobbler's pose, Vata Konasana. And again, lengthen through the top of your spine. If sitting like this is very hard for your body, you can pull your feet forward to give yourself a little relief. Or you can put pillows or blocks underneath your knees. And we're going to do a mudra, the wind mudra called Vayu mudra. Vayu mudra is pointer finger to thumb. The rest of the fingers are outstretched. And if having your legs open like this isn't feeling good to you, you can also just cross your legs at this time. So pointer finger to thumb. And then bring your hands down to the tops of your knees. And maybe if it feels good to you, you can close your eyes and feel the calm, soothing of your own breath. See if you can soften through your fingers. Your index finger is barely touching your thumb. And soften through the rest of your fingers. Soften through the backs of your shoulders and around all the muscles that surround your eyes. Soften your tongue and your mouth. And soften through the muscles of your jaws. And notice this wind or air mudra. Notice how you feel. This feels very calming and peaceful to me right now. And I wish the same for you. Let's bring some gentle wind into our practice. So release the mudra. And again, if you have a strap, you can use it now. Not necessary if not. But we're going to do some gentle side twisting. So I'm going to hold the strap in both hands. And I'm going to bring it up overhead. I'm going to inhale and lift. And again, I could be doing this just with my arms. I could also, if I didn't have a strap, I could hold opposite wrists. So right now I could be holding my left wrist with my right hand. That's definitely an option. I don't want you to feel like you ever need something other than your own body. Let's take a deep inhale and then start to arch over to the right. Exhaling. Imagine as you inhale, this is the gentle wind in the branches of a tree, and exhale to the right, exhale to the left. Inhaling up or whatever direction you're going. Inhale, exhaling to the right. Calm, gentle movement to your own breath rhythm. Feeling the opening in your side body as you twist. Reaching up to the sky and then maybe opening your arms a little wider and letting your strap come down behind you. And now you could release the strap or you can hold on to it still, but clasp your hands, if possible, behind your back, or you can use the strap to connect them. So I'm clasping my hands. And if your legs are getting a little stiff, you can switch the cross of your legs now. Slight back bend as we lift and look up. And then lower and fold. And let your arms start to raise up over your head. Coming back up and switching the cross of your legs once more, just to even out both sides, because this has a nice hip opening element as well. Slight back bend, look up, raise your chin, and fold and lower forward. You'll feel this in your forearms. Release any tension in the back of your neck. You'll also feel this potentially in your outer left hip area, the muscles there. And then coming back up to seated. Let's try that one more time now with our feet together back in that butterfly pose. And this time you'll notice I'm only able to go forward a tiny bit. Coming back up to seated, opening through the shoulders, through your heart center, and lifting your chin slightly, and then releasing all of that. Bring your hands to cradle the back of your head. Open through your heart center. And we're going to gently do some movements to roll our neck. So we'll start with rolling very slowly and gently over to the right side. So our left elbow starts to come up. Inhaling back to the center and exhaling. Move very slowly so that you avoid any vertigo. And inhaling back to center. Slight back bend, look up, and then round and fold forward and release your arms. Very nice. And we'll do a seated spinal twist next. So we'll wring out any tension in our lower spine. You can keep your legs where they are, or if you wish, you can tuck your left leg under your right so that your knees are stacked. This is like a cow-faced pose with our legs. Inhale and lengthen, and then if you wish, you can start to twist over to the right side. It doesn't really matter which leg is on top or on bottom. And then back to the center. And switch the cross of your legs. So maybe now your left knee is tucking under your right. We'll all be in different leg positions. So for some of us, our knees can come stacking over each other. This might not be comfortable for your body, so you could have your one leg outstretched, or you could just have your legs crossed in a seated position. And let's open and twist over to the left now. And be careful not to put any pressure on your knee that's on the top with your hand, because you might have the inclination to be pressing on the knee. Just have your fingertips soft. And our nose is going to point over our hip on the left side. Soften through the fingertips in your back hand, the hand that's acting like a tripod. And then back to center. Very nice job. And we'll come to cat-cow. So if your knees are tender, you can place a blanket under them so that you create some softness between the ground and where your knees are resting. We're going to come to a tabletop position. So we'll be on our knees and our hands are outstretched in front of us. If your wrists are tender, you can place a block and be on your forearms like this. But you'll notice you have to kind of push up through your back body because when our arms are down like that, there's a little collapsing in the spine otherwise. Tap the backs of your feet to feel the grounding. And let's move our bodies, the spinal articulation, let's move to the flow of a gentle wind. So drop your belly and look up. Gently, your chin is not raised too far. And then round your back like the breeze, a nice, warm, soft breeze. And then blow that out and roll your spine upwards. Maybe you imagine that you are the wind and you're blowing at the ocean. You're blowing across the tops of the waves. In fact, as I move my body, I can bring Ujjayi breath to the exhale. Inhaling, dropping my belly, and then exhaling with my lips together, make the sound of the ocean. Coming to stillness. We're going to stretch out our right leg and roll forward on our toes and then back on our heels, stretching the calf muscle. And coming to stillness. And we will do a kneeling half moon and then to a gate pose. So let's bring our right knee down and we'll stretch out the left calf now. Rolling forwards and backwards. Just awakening the hip, the calf muscles through a gentle motion. Let your right foot make a tripod behind your body so it starts to come out, and let your right hand come find the earth in front of your face. Your left arm is going to peel up your body in one straight, slow line until it's reaching from sky to earth, earth to sky. And maybe now we raise our left leg as well, reaching now overhead in a gape position. So my left arm is by my ear. You've got balancing happening here as well as strength building and stretching. And now I'm going to let my left arm reach up and bring me up to warrior two arms. So my left foot has now found the earth and I can lean back into a humble warrior, side body opening on the right side. Right arm is stretched up to the sky. Don't worry if you get a little lost along the way. And then flowing back down to the ground and finding yourself back in table. Lowering your belly, looking up. Exhaling, rounding your spine. Coming to stillness. Left foot is going to turn and start to make that little tripod to balance you. Left hand comes in front of your face and right leg goes out. Now, bring your right hand down near your left and let it peel gently and slowly up your body until it finds the sky. Deep inhale. And maybe now I wish to raise my right leg and I'm balancing here. My gaze can be down at the ground or it can be up at my right hand if I want to test my balance a little more. And now let your right arm point over your head, over your right ear. And let it now reach up and you start to come up to your warrior arms. Your right foot has found the earth. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and go into your peaceful warrior. Very nice. Calm, slow, mindful movement. And we'll come back down to the earth, turning our bodies. And two options here. Let's remove our blankets if we had them there. And our two options are you can press up to downward facing dog, which looks like this. Or you can be in child's pose, which is more like this. Ask your body, what does it want right now? If your wrists and shoulders are tender, you can do downward facing dog against the wall or the back of a chair like this. And you'll get a wonderful back body opening. And you'll feel the stretch between your shoulder blades as well as down your hamstrings. But choose what feels good to you. And you can gently roll on your toes down the backs of your heels, letting your heels find the earth or closer to the earth. If you do this stretch more frequently over time, your heels will find the earth. Maybe. But it's not important whether they do or they don't. Come up on your toes and then let your heels press downwards. And we're going to crisscross our feet across our mat space, taking a very slow and thoughtful walk until we come to Uttanasana or standing forward fold. Knees can be generously bent. And maybe you lift up from the earth a little bit and just ragdoll your arms. Let your arms swing in the wind very gently. And be careful to keep stillness in your head so that you don't cause yourself any vertigo. Touch the earth, And bring your hands to the tops of your feet. Pitter patter the fronts of your legs. Bend your knees and scoop your way to get up to a standing posture, Tadasana. And we're going to, from Tadasana, if you wish to gather your strap again, we're going to do some of that same movement that we did from a seated position, but I'll show an alternative without the strap as well. Roll your shoulders back and down and take a peek at your toes. And see if you can close your eyes and outstretch your hands by your sides. Notice the space in the length of all the vertebrae of your neck. Pull your pelvis under, tuck in and down. Soften through your knees. And let's roll very gently on all corners of our feet. So we're going to start rolling into the left pinky toe, and then the right big toe, and then, the left big toe, then the right big toe, then the right pinky toe, kind of into the blade of the right foot, outer blade, and back into the heel of the right foot, the heel of the left foot, and out into the blade of the left foot. And now open and close your toes and let them find the earth, and notice the stability in your body. If you have a strap and you wish to use it, we can raise our strap overhead like we did when we were seated. And we can arch slightly back and then bring the strap down in front of our body and up. And now open a little further and see if you, whoops, I lost mine. See if you can let it come behind you. And then up and over. So if I don't have a strap, I can just do this with my arms. Opening through the shoulders. And this time when we come up to the top, let's arch over to the right side. Feeling that opening in the left side body, stretching all the muscles around the ribs, and then back up to the sky and over to the left. Very nice. Let the strap come down and we will windmill our arms. So bring our arms out to T, and we're going to turn our hands so that our palms are facing up. We'll do 3 breaths up, and then we'll turn our hands so that they're facing down, and we'll do 3 breaths down. But we'll keep to this T position. So inhaling, sips of air. Sip, sip, sip. And then turn your hands and exhale. Inhaling, sipping in, and exhaling. Going at your own breath rhythm. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhaling. 3, 2, 1. And one last time. Inhaling. Very nice. Exhaling. Excellent. Let your hands come down by your sides and roll out your shoulders. And we will do tree pose next. So many options for tree pose. If you have a block, you can place the block by your right foot. And if you wish to be close to a wall or a chair for balance, that can help as well. So we're going to start with bringing our awareness to our left foot, feeling it ground into the earth. And then our right foot can come up onto the block and it can turn outwards if we'd like. It gives us a little bit of length. Or you could have your right toe on the ground with your right heel resting on the inner shin of the left leg. Hands are outstretched while we get our balance. Or you could be here. Or you could bring your right foot into the inner leg of the left side. Any option that you wish to try, but find a drishti. And maybe you wish to bring Vayu Mudra back into our practice. So thumb to index finger to thumb. And I might wish to stay here, or I might wish to bring my hands overhead. Pressing my left leg into my right foot if I have my foot on the inside of my thigh. Feeling the stability in the left leg, knowing that the wind will come through the trees. Maybe you are moving your tree branches ever so slightly, testing your balance, and then coming to stillness again. Breathing into the sensations in your body, in your beautiful tree body, and the gentle movements of the wind. And then releasing your tree posture whenever you wish, Vikrasana, and shaking it out. And maybe we wish to roll our shoulders a little bit, or however your body needs some movement. And I'm going to bring the block over closer to my left foot now. And I'm going to bring my stability to my right foot. Stable roots, stable trunk of tree, stable foundation. Then I can use my block and I can turn my knee outwards if I wish, orienting my hips forward. And I might stay here, or I might want to have my foot on the ground and I can push the block out of the way. I might wish to balance on my big toe. I might wish to bring my left foot up further into the center of my body. My right inner thigh is pressing now, possibly against my left foot. And I can try that mudra if I would like. I can bring my branches of my tree upwards, and I can let the wind move my body very gently. Whatever version of Vikrasana I'm choosing is perfect for me right now. Holding on to a wall or chair for balance, maybe testing my balance periodically. Can we be calm and slow and mindful as we balance? Knowing that in life we will wobble at times, and that's okay. We'll catch ourselves. We might even stumble. There might be some very rough winds, but we can always come back to a place of calm. Practicing on the yoga mat is a practice for our life. And when we're ready, we'll start to gently come out of that posture and move the block away if we had it there. And we're going to start to come down to the earth. So one of my favorite grounding postures is malasana. I'm going to bring my hands to my heart center and start to bend towards the earth, gently coming down into whatever version of squat my body wishes for today. Deep inhale. Maybe I'm up on my toes. Maybe I put a block underneath the base of my body. Pressing my knees open. Gaze is soft. And bring our hands around behind our back. And let's roll our bodies down to the earth. Wrapping our hands around our body in a gentle, loving embrace, asana, loving what our body can do for us, and rolling out the lower spine. And I'll introduce a wind runner pose because we're on the theme of wind. If you ever have some excess wind in your belly, this can help. So you can bring your left leg out straight and just pull in on your right knee. And you can switch sides and pull in on your left knee and let your right leg be pointing out. You can repeat this motion or you can pause. This is called wind runner pose and very good for when we eat something that causes a little gassiness in the belly. This is a great way to balance that. Nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed of. Everyone's bodies experience that sometimes. And then coming to stillness and giving yourself another big, big hug. And at this point, we're going to prepare for Shavasana or resting posture. And it's good to put on your socks if you took them off. Maybe put back on a sweater if your body feels cool as you start to come down to the ground. Let's move calmly and slowly. There's no hurry or rush. We'll find our Shavasana, and maybe we want to get a pillow or a blanket. Really tuck yourself in. So I like to put a pillow beneath my knees and a blanket over me. This is an act of self-love. Legs are outstretched. Hands can be gently by your side.
In progress.
And now, as you rest in Shavasana, I'll share with you a reading by Thich Nhat Hanh called Tree in a Storm. When you look at a tree in a storm, you will see that the top of the tree is very unstable and vulnerable. The wind can break the smaller branches at any time. But when you look down at the trunk of the tree, you have a different impression. You see that the tree is very solid and still. You know it will be able to withstand the storm. We are also like a tree. Our head is like the top of the tree during a tempest of strong emotion. So we have to bring our attention down to the level of our navel. We begin to practice mindful breathing. We concentrate just on our breathing and on the rise and fall of our abdomen. It is very important practice because it helps us to see that although an emotion may be very strong, it will stay only for a while and then go. It cannot last forever. If you train yourself to practice like this during difficult times, you will survive these storms. You have to be aware that your emotion is just an emotion, and you are more than your emotions. It's important to remember this. Breathe in and out. Maintain the awareness that your emotion will go away if you continue to practice. And after you have succeeded a few times, you will have confidence in yourself and in the practice. Let's not get caught by our thoughts and feelings. Let's bring our attention down to our belly and breathe in and out. This storm will go away, so don't be afraid. And when you're ready, you can start to gently wiggle your fingers and toes and feel your body touching the earth. And gently roll over to one side and let the nutriments of your practice wash through your whole body. Your breath is calm. Your body is calm. Your emotions are calm. And then let your top hand help you gently rise up to a seated position. And we'll close our practice with the lovely sounds of the chime. Thank you for sharing this windy day practice. And may you stay strong in the storms. Namaste.